They were so cute back then.
I literally weep at the youth on that screen.
It felt like a really long time ago, but we shot like, what was it, 2 years ago now?
Year and a half? Yeah.
Year and a half?
Yeah.
Last, October of like 2015.
What do you remember most? What's your like most primal memory of that episode, shooting that first episode?
The first episode, we could not stop laughing. I don't know why. It was just like this laughing gas that was in the air, and we just couldn't stop laughing. And
This is still a problem.
yeah, it is. Yeah, that's basically what I remember from the first episode.
A lot of laughter.
Well, that's kind of the blessing and curse of this cast that we put together is these are authentic, grounded kids, and they're going to laugh. And if that's the price you pay for the reality they bring on screen, then that's pretty much worth it.
Oh, what about the rest of you? David, what about you, man?
I was not laughing at all. I don't remember laughing. I remember being very depressed and very scared most of the time. I almost got fired like right before we started. That was great.
I love adult stuff.
I love when Harvard gets weird and curmudgeon-y. I just remember. I just remember being like really scared, like that we were gonna make this thing. Because I remember reading the script and like really loving the script, and like we started to get to work, and it was for me like an opportunity that I felt like I'd never really had. And I just remember being really scared. So how's that?
I had a lot of hope in the show.
I guess it fits in with the show, the vibe of the show. Maybe that fear kind of came out. Yeah, I don't know. You're supposed to be the one who has it together in that first episode.
I know, we're in trouble, right?
The entire 8 episodes, as Netflix does, dropped all on one day last July. It was a Friday. What did you guys do that day when all 8 episodes came on?
No schnupp. What did you do?
What did I do?
Yeah.
I watched the episodes.
Ask a stupid question.
Yeah, I mean, I went on my
8
couch,
hours.
and I just straight watched all the episodes.
Like the day it came out on Saturday or on Friday?
Saturday.
On Saturday. So you watched them 8 straight through?
Yeah, I don't.
You'd already seen 1 and 2, hadn't you?
Oh,
At the
yeah.
premiere?
And 3 and 4.
No, we didn't see 3.
Oh, I didn't see 3 and 4.
No, we saw 3 and 4.
We didn't.
Oh,
Was that,
excuse
hold on,
me.
okay.
Hang on.
Watch it on the set? Was that just 1 and 2?
No, 1
Yeah,
and
those are
That was in your head.
Never mind.
I was shooting it, and then because I had to wait for the whole like I remember waiting until it was like 12 a.m. and then like seeing like refreshing Netflix and then seeing it.
Oh yeah.
And then I had to work the next day like for like the whole day, and then I got home and like watched all of them.
Wait, I have to say, like, it says 12 a.m. Like, it's gonna drop Friday. It dropped like Friday or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I stayed up till 12 on Friday, and then I realized that was Pacific time.
Yes,
And I was in New York, and I stayed up till 3.
Oh yes. Oh, that happened to me.
And I watched, because I'd already seen 1 and 2, so I watched 3 and 4 till 5 in the morning,
Oh my god.
See,
and I fell asleep. I didn't want it to end.
See,
loved it so much.
I started at 3 in the morning and I went all the way through.
You did not!
Yeah,
Yeah, you did. You had a party.
That's so hardcore, you
Last one
Netflix
standing.
bender.
I was the last one standing. I went from 3 in the morning to like noon, and then I fell asleep until 7 o'clock p.m. It messed up my
Yeah.
How
Actually, sorry I messed up your clap, but the story before everyone started talking. I actually did the same. I thought it was at 12, and then I stayed up till like 3. But my parents were like, "I'm gonna go take a nap." I'm like, "Okay, take a nap. I'm gonna wake you guys up, just letting you guys know so you won't get mad, right?" All right. I go in there. I did like the whole like Christmas morning. Wake up, it's Christmas. But I said, "Wake up, it's time to watch it." Hey. I'm like, "I'm sorry." It's okay. It's just don't wake me up. I'm like, I was a little scared. No, but yeah, I woke up my parents.
You watched the whole thing, or just the 2? How many did you watch?
I watched all of it,
All of
and then after that, I didn't go to sleep. I went riding bike with my friends, and then that day, I went to go watch it again with another friend.
Were you jazzed, like when you saw it? Were you like, this is great?
It was phenomenal.
same way. I was like, wow, this is good.
I feel so like left out though because like I mean I didn't watch it all the way through. Like so I feel I don't know. I was driving to Lake Tahoe. It was all really chill, and then I just saw my Instagram followers going up. I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, that was weird.
Way down.
And
Well,
then,
that
and then all of a sudden I just get text message after text message from in the group chat of Gaten just like, I'm crying right now. And I'm like, what is happening? But then I watched, I kind of skipped just to 8 because I was so excited about 8. And then I went back, and I kind of went
Cheater.
backwards. I was like, what, 6
So you're one of those people.
Wow. Cheater.
Stop. Okay, next question.
And you can watch them in pretty much any order, right? I mean, it doesn't.
No, it's an 8-hour long movie.
That's the wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, obviously early, adopters to the series, but it sounds like one way you found out that it was connecting with people was like social media, Instagram. Your Instagram followers are going up. Were there other ways that you were like getting a feeling like people are really getting into this show?
Yeah, BuzzFeed published an article like day 3 into the release. What Stranger Things character are you? Quiz.
Oh my god.
I was like, I've arrived. I took the test, and I got the monster.
Yeah, so
And my second team stand-in in the show, wonderful man Rob, got Hopper. And I was really upset.
I got nothing.
You take the test?
I did take the test.
I got the monster too.
You got yourself.
I got the
I
monster
got
too.
myself.
I got Lucas.
What kind of answers do you have to give to get the monster?
These are the people we have to work with.
yes.
I was getting, when I knew that like it was kind of like blowing up, I was getting like, I got my first like 2 offers like for stuff, but like they were for the exact same thing as Stranger Things. I don't know if they were like real or not, but I got 2 emails that were like, hey, so we want you to be in the movie, and it's set in the 80s, and you gotta ride bikes with your friends, and it's about destroying this monster. And I was like, I've done it already. That was the first time I'd ever got an offer and declined it.
Pass.
You needed a new challenge. You've done.
I know.
But it is hard. I mean, when we were making this thing, there was no sense that people would watch it in big numbers. We just knew that it felt cool to us. And above all, we were just kind of doing right by this creation from the Duffers' hive mind. And it was a lot on social media because Netflix famously doesn't give numbers or anything like that. And so you just kind of felt it permeate the culture really quickly. And I remember it started that Saturday. We were like, oh wait, people are watching it, people are digging it.
Yeah. Well, I think that was kind of one of the beautiful things about this is that there wasn't a whole lot of hype. There wasn't a whole lot of advance warning. This is like a complete fan word of mouth.
Right. I think people forget that. People seem to think we had a ton of advertising compared to other shows, and we were all freaked out because there was no. I mean, and Netflix warned you. They're like, we are not going to advertise. It's not like a big movie, so don't freak out. It doesn't mean we don't care about your show. We don't love your show, but don't expect anything. And they stayed true to their word. I mean, there was nothing.
No, there's billboards.
Right before they cancel your show, they're like, we love it. It's
Well, they'll take a picture of the like 2 billboards and send it to you.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. Well, I mean, but it is interesting. They don't need that opening weekend. It doesn't matter to them. And I think this show it shows them that they were right in that it just snowballed with word of mouth. But yeah, it was hard for us to. It freaked all of us out. Especially we're moving.
David cut his hair.
Yeah, David buzzed his hair.
cut my hair into a mohawk.
He had
I
like
was
a
like,
mental.
we're
Like, what are you doing?
What? I wanted a mohawk.
I thought that was.
No, I was doing a play. I was like, we're never coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I have a friend who, no, I'm serious. I was like, well, I have a friend who's on a very popular television show. He's been doing it for like 1 million years. And we were doing a play at the time together. And it was like 3 weeks before the show came out. And there was I was walking around New York City and there's like telephone booths and buses and you all got House of Cards, Orange is the New Black. And there was not a single like iota of Stranger Things. And then like 2 weeks before, and I said to him, I was like, hey man, they're not really like, putting up posters and stuff, he was like, I was like, I think it's a new model that like Netflix had. He was like, no, they're trying to bury your show. And then like, I was like, no, they love the show. And he was like, no, trust me, dude, they're trying to bury your show. And then like a week before, nothing, and then finally it dropped, and people liked it. So there's a happy ending.
The world
Yeah,
went
we did not expect that at all.
I also think that, like, giving Netflix a little thing, like, they believed in our show from day one, and that, it's kind of, obviously it was we didn't really think the show would be what it was, and filming a show in Atlanta, Georgia, really thinking your show wouldn't be big. Like, we, with the smallest crew, and we read the script and we thought it was great, and we thought it would be like a 5-star on Netflix. We didn't think that the public would think that, and so, but Netflix have been there from day one, and they believed in our show, and we're thankful for them for that. So.
But that is truly their new model. I mean, that's the way they do it now.
Did you, when you were doing season 1, did you have any thought about laying some pipe for season 2, or?
Yeah, we were hopeful. I mean, they weren't canceling stuff at that point, so I was like,
I thought we would be the
like
first.
if we were coming out now, it'd be like, but back then it was like, it felt like we'd at least get another season, even if we were a dud. And I was like, okay. And so, yeah, we had an idea of coming back. I mean, they're not interested in investing in something unless there's the potential to continue it in some way.
We were already working. I mean, that's what we were doing when season 1 dropped. We were working on season 2 at the time, and we were already writing it. So we were hopeful at the time, because we knew, we felt good about it. We knew Netflix felt good about it, and so it was just, we just didn't know if people were gonna watch it. But we felt like the story would continue for at least a little bit longer.
So is that why, Hopper's leaving the
Right, yeah, exactly.
box? Yeah.
That would be a cruel way to end one season show. Yeah.
But we did want it to feel like it had it felt satisfying enough that it ended, that the main threat, that the monster was defeated, and there was some semblance of a happy ending. So.
Did you guys become friends in 5 minutes, or
No, we hate each other.
I'm really picking up on that.
Gay is the worst of them all.
Right.
No, it's really hard.
I feel like it started at your callbacks.
Yeah,
Right?
it did. Yeah.
Met this guy at the callback in LA.
You guys read together in the callback?
Yeah, me and Gain did, and me and Caleb did.
Like,
and
Finn
then
was
I met,
like the. I only met Caleb. Right?
And you,
Yeah.
Billy, you read with
I
Billy.
met you at the hotel.
And you looked at me like,
Hey.
you're at the pool at the hotel. I was like, yeah, it's Finn.
yeah, that was it. Was also like I was reading with a bunch of people, and when Gayton came in, it was like, oh my god, this is really just because Gayton knows timing comedy timing so well, and in the callback audition I was like, there's no way Gayton can't be in this
And there wasn't. He was the only.
he was the only
Dustin.
It was
Dustin.
our first,
Yeah.
hands down. We knew it as soon as Gaten left the room. We were like, well, that's done.
He didn't ask the question, guys. He just asked the question.
He's like, oh shucks.
I actually knew Gayton before she
Yes,
came,
yes,
like,
a few years before.
back in the day.
Yeah,
I was like really young.
Back the day before they were 12.
Yeah.
Back when I was the young man from the
Back when I was a young man, 2012.
Juilliard.
Yeah. Yeah, we were Broadway.
On the couch.
We did.
Yes,
Yeah,
back in the day.
the Broadway days. The
How old were you?
Broadway.
I was 10.
I was 12. No, how could you be 10 and I was 12? You're 15. I'm 14. That's not possible.
Wait, let's do the math.
I love math.
But I think
Was there an on-set tutor at the studio?
Not in math, no. Huddle up, guys,
so.
huddle up.
So then, whilst they're discussing, I've done a screen test. Oh god. So I've done a screen test.
facing our
Finn
backs.
and you guys, are you kidding me right now? Wait, I want to be in on this. What's happening?
Yeah, going back to the chemistry.
They're going to come back to
Like a normal day
Wait.
on set, by
I
the
would
way.
like
You're
to
like
be with
experiencing
Flo.
the lifestyle.
Ta-da!
I really regret asking the question of how old you were, but Sounds good. All right.
What I mean, we were watching this episode one. What was your looking, because you've watched them all? I don't know how many times, but what was your favorite scene? Each of you go. What was the favorite scene of season one?
I just said it behind the curtains, and it's of the first episode.
First season.
Oh wow. Of the first episode, it's when Benny dies. That's like my favorite scene because.
You hate Benny.
That character sucks. No, that character's amazing. But yeah, I think that's my favorite scene in episode one. But of the first season, that's like kind of difficult. But maybe the cat scene where she's like trying to kill the cat.
Oh, I feel so like happy that you did that. It's really nice.
God.
I feel like so honored. I don't know. I feel that in the first episode, I think my favorite scene, honestly, was the opening scene with the boys. I think it was just so perfect. Just opening with their relationship and just the humor, and it felt so real. Like I was watching like a reality show, like them just completely interacting with each other, which is exactly what they do on set on a regular day. But my favorite scene in the season was when I was in the tank. I think it was just really just a challenging moment. I think in the show and to kind of act whilst being underwater, whilst hearing Matt and Ross in my ear like saying weird stuff. It was just like a weird day, but I loved it.
No, what about you?
I think, like you said, I think that was definitely the most fun to film for me because that was like when we were like crazy laughing. And remember when we were at the first.
Like
episode,
nothing, there's
couldn't
nothing
stop
that
laughing.
caused the laughing. We just like sat down and started laughing.
It's like when you're stuck in it, you can't get out of it. Like when the camera wouldn't be on us, the person behind the camera would make faces. That was him. He was just. Oh my god. Caleb, you too. Huh? You did too. I did. Wait. My favorite scene. Wow. My favorite scene. Honestly, I forget that I love the scene with you, right? You're in the lab and you make this face, this perfect facial reaction when you go through the door. You're like, and then you go right. I love that. It's just so cool. You just look awesome there. That's
My favorite scene. My favorite scene.
My favorite scene, the scene with Luke is when.
One of my favorite scenes that we filmed was by the quarry. It was me and Finn with the bullies, and that was a lot of fun because it was actually really funny when you fell. I know you hurt yourself, but it was funny.
That was like a serious fall, Gaten.
No, I know, you hurt yourself, but I felt bad after I laughed. But
No, it's because he can like we were running down the hill and Gaten had to catch up to me and I was like running too fast.
I know, I'm not a runner. Okay, guys.
And I was running too fast and then I tripped
You're
over
going
a
way
rock
too
and
fast.
skidded.
It was like Gaten. You have to catch up to him. I'm like, I'm trying. Running in the quarry, it's a lot of fun because it was just we were filming on a cliff and scary. It was exhilarating.
We were by the
It was a lot of
dangerous
fun.
side.
I find it like so funny though in episode 8 when Finn was supposed to carry me and then we was running down the hallway. No, it was such a great scene because
Yes.
and then also one of my favorite scenes which was gonna be cut, but it was when we was going down the hallway and I was laying on like a table and you guys had to push me. Remember that
Yes,
scene?
On the
yes.
EV
And
card.
Sean was like, we might not have time, and I was like, we're gonna make time, we're gonna do it, and like it was like the most fun scene ever.
We'll
Like
talk
I
about
loved
when you had
it.
to carry me because that's a funny story.
Yeah.
Like when I had to carry you.
I don't have a strong upper body. That's the end of the story. I can't carry people well.
Made it to the table. You got her there.
Yeah.
Well,
that was him.
I don't know. Yeah, that's funny.
I'm glad that everyone here tonight is getting a window into our process. This is the magic, basically. This is it.
Millie Eleven has that intense stare, that look. Was that something that you had before 11? I'm kind of wondering, could you just bring that out if your parents asked you to do like chores or something?
I mean, that's really a question to ask Duff Brothers and Sean, because I don't know. Like, I know that sounds really funny, but like, I don't really I don't think I made a face. I just did it. It just.
I remember at
happened.
Benny's Diner, when you stopped the fan, we played around with different levels of envelope.
No, but we developed it as soon as we buzzed your hair. We said, do the look. Give us a look. Remember, you did it.
Do the look.
Because it transformed you. It transformed you.
But I also remember from Millie's callback where she did a great reading. I feel like it might have been a scene with you, Finn. I can't remember. But at the very end of her audition, she kind of lowered her chin and did what would become the look. And I remember being in that room going, oh, there's something to this girl. There's something to this girl that no one's going to see coming.
Yeah, because I think we were doing that. We were doing like the wig. Was it the wig scenes?
Yeah, she was putting on the wig for the first time.
Yeah, and those are like dummy sides. And then she did something at the end. I don't remember what she did, but.
Did I put like a sweater on my head?
Yeah.
Crazy! I put a sweater on my head, and then like
Say it like that.
the Duffers was like, "That's good, keep that." And then I looked in the mirror and I was like, "Mike," and then I don't know really what happened.
I had
It
a
was all
sweater on.
black. Because the next day I got the job.
Like, check this out.
Check this
A
out.
sweater on my head.
But you guys knew then. I mean, you say you were playing around with that look. You knew that there was something there because that became just a very iconic.
Yeah. Well, I think, and it was. I mean, with casting 11, especially to find someone who can. There's not much dialogue, and I remember people being like, for these sides, can you write more lines for us? She doesn't have more lines. She needs to be able to communicate all these emotions with just her look.
Well, it was
her
weird.
eyes.
We did I think we read, Netflix, you read as many scripts as you can before you start production. So we read the first 6 through with all the cast, and 11 did not pop because she's not you wouldn't know. And we got these notes, and we're like, it's gonna work. It's going to work because you couldn't tell on the script. It was Millie and in close up, and we knew from the first day we started shooting, and everyone did, I think.
Oh, you guys. Thanks. Yeah. I mean, what they say, I don't know.
So season 1, Christmas of 1983. Season 2, it's gonna revolve around another holiday, Halloween, the following year. 1984.
Great
So-
year for movies.
Great year for movies. What? I mean, one of the cool things about season 1, all the little nods you made to various 80s
Yeah.
movies. What's in store for season 2?
Well, it's fun for us because we have this group of boys who we believe would be obsessed with these movies. So Ghostbusters plays the biggest role because there's no way they wouldn't be obsessed with that when it came out that summer. And
When
we
it
loved it.
July of '84.
I think so. I mean, it was a great year. There's Temple of Doom, there's Gremlins, there's Karate Kid. I mean, they don't do movies like this anymore.
That was all in one summer.
One summer. Terminator came out in October. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, if you
Can you
were at
imagine a
that
year
age-
like that anymore? It's insane. So anyways, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun with it. But I think Ghostbusters makes the big, but it is Halloween, so there's like a, you get to see, Cobra Kai costumes and, there's fun stuff like that. Little throwaways.
It was Karate Kid.
It was
that
June
summer.
or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing year.
So if the thought about season 1 was, well, is anyone going to watch? Does anyone know about this show? People know about the show now, so I guess the pressure for season 2 is a little bit different.
Yeah, that's the problem.
People are actually gonna watch now.
Yeah. And everyone working on it is aware of that also. So you try not to let that mess you up.
But I do think everyone was a little, for better or worse, we were harder on ourselves, I think. Other people were harder on themselves and just trying, because we're all aware that we want to there's no point in just redoing it. So the hope is that you can raise the bar and you can do it better. And certainly, at least that's what we tried to do. But yeah, it was a lot of work.
But the best, you want to surround. I don't trust anyone you work with who is always happy with themselves. The best people are always unhappy with their own work and feel like they can do better. And so that's great. It's we all got another chance at it. And the people who were really content are we're gone. We got rid of them. So. And it's same true of actors. You want people who consistently want to improve and that they can do better. I think we could do a lot better than season 1. You know what I mean? Because they were asking what they were doing on, when it first came out. I mean, we were forced to watch it at friends' houses. It was painful. because you just see everything that's wrong with it. So you just want to do better. So that's what we tried to do. That's what's great about it. The fact that people are watching gives you an opportunity to try to go to bat again.
You had one more episode, and you probably had more time to shoot those.
We had
Well,
Yeah.
they're actually, I think, there's one more episode, but also we'll see at the end of the day because they're still editing, but the scripts at least were longer. There are more storylines going on. There's more story this season, and so they're more dense, and so it just took longer to film. And then there is some, there's a little more visual effects component, and so it took a little longer. There's new characters.
But I feel like we're close to setting like a record for scene counts in TV shows.
I think
I think we hit like 140.
Episode 8 was like 140 or so, which if you work in TV is 140.
stupid.
Like
you
a
should
60-page script with 150 scenes.
Which is unheard of in television because most television
Unheard of
series
in
will
movies.
have 3-page dialogue scenes. And Stranger Things is kind of built on the brother's instinct to make it propulsive and to have a lot of smaller scenes.
But there's a reason people don't do it. Like it was not.
It's brutal.
I mean,
brutal.
yeah. So I mean, the thing is though, we write it, and then there's a part of us that's writing it, and we just ignore the directing part of it, and then we have to suffer through trying to pull it off. And it is just painful. You're just trying to pull it off.
I think that's
It's
what's
not-
authentic though. It's
not
like you write it and then you know what you want. So then that's what you give it to
You know what you
actors.
want, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That
It's not-
painful.
and I feel like that's why Sean can direct so well, is because.
Well, the brothers' vision is so clear in their scripts. I mean, you read their scripts, and I know exactly how they want it to be on the screen. And it's really that vision comes through their voice.
Well, I read a quote where you guys were saying that the season 2 is going to take you a little bit darker place, and I was kind of thinking, well, I mean, this is a show that killed 2 characters in the first 3 episodes of its first season.
Barb
so,
and Benny, right?
Barb and Benny.
yeah, Barb.
Spoiler alert.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was the Game of Thrones thing. I loved. You love. When,
Everyone's thinking Barb now.
yeah, but when you kill, when they kill characters who aren't supposed to, suddenly you don't feel safe anymore, and then the stakes feel a lot higher, and every
Anything
scene
can
has
happen.
that more tension.
Yeah, I remember when we wrote the pilot, the reason we felt so like we really needed to include the Benny thing, is because we wanted to clarify, in case anyone was confused, that this wasn't a show just for kids, and that this is not a show where the kids are necessarily safe. Because then when I had watched stuff like The Goonies, like I felt like these kids are in danger. Like his hand is going in that blender. Like it scared me as a child. And
Like Spielberg loves putting children in danger. Like that's his favorite thing to do. And as a kid,
Jaws, Jurassic Park,
yeah,
all that.
yeah, he loves putting Jurassic.
he gets thrown on. He gets shocked on.
He
that.
gets electrocuted.
It's very violent.
Yeah, they almost
Almost
chop
dies.
off.
Probably should have died.
They almost chop off Corey Feldman's tongue in like the first like 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah, but now everyone treats kids and they go, oh, we can't be doing that anymore. It's like let's put kids.
Well, and that was the conventional wisdom.
Let's just kill some kids.
Yeah.
So, which of you is not coming back for season 3?
No one is safe. No one is safe.
Not even
Russian roulette, but with a script.
I guess we're not
Wow.
Star Trek,
certain
sorry.
100% that 11's coming back, but you're here tonight. So.
This season? Oh, they announced that she was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's back.
Good. Because what would it be like without 11? Well,
I don't know.
will 11 have more
the
words?
original pitch though was when we first. It was not originally intended as a multiple series, and it was that 11 was going to sacrifice herself. So obviously, I'm just.
I actually never knew that. So
Oh, well,
it's really great to
you
know.
learn
Thank
something
you
new
guys
every
so
day, no?
much. It's been really great working with you.
But that makes sense from the movie point of view, and so as the sort of ET character. But yeah, no, she is a good journey this season.
What was it like shooting season 2? Because now you guys were like a known quantity. Was it any different out and about?
Security was
Yeah,
definitely.
security. Because I mean,
Well, we
people-
literally consulted with like the Game of Thrones producers to learn about their security protocols. Because suddenly, if we threw out our script at the end of the day, someone might go dumpster diving and leak a spoiler on the internet. So
Let's just no. what basically happened was we weren't allowed to say a thing, and we're still not. And we had to like throw away our sides every second. We had like, I mean, it was top secret. Like, I mean, before, like when the show, when I wasn't announced that I was coming back, I had to wear like cloaks going on set. Cloaks. And when I was going through Atlanta Airport, cloaks, is that not a normal word?
Just sounds good when
It just sounds good when you say
Just sounds good when you
Guys,
say
visibility.
Just keep saying cloaks.
Okay, coats, basically, yeah, and they go through Atlanta Airport, like I'd wear wigs, and like, it was just, I don't know, it was just like so weird, and then when I finally got announced, I was like, like a ton of, but I also find that, I mean, we're still the same show, filming in Atlanta, we're all, I feel like,
Same crew.
and I feel like somewhat, you know, I mean, we're all still very grounded, and I feel like obviously it's had a massive impact on our lives and on the show, but it's not changed anything. I think we're all the same people, and we love hanging out
Bonding
with each
wise,
other.
yeah, I guess we're.
I mean, on the opposite side of the spoiler thing, I just think there's an interesting wave in terms of protectiveness of our show, where like people, you know, you think people are going to dumpster dive and stuff, and I've actually experienced the opposite, where people come up to me and they're like, they really want to preserve the purity of the experience, and I think more so maybe for this show than other shows, where people are like, don't tell me, I don't want to know, I really don't want to know. And even like, I got trolled on Instagram by like some dude who, some dude, yeah, who pretended to be, we had a director for for episode 7, a woman, Rebecca, who came in and directed this episode, and somebody on Instagram pretended to be her and reached out to me, and like, I didn't know her all that well, and she started talking to me about the episode. And I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, how'd the last week go? And like, was everything okay? And like, blah, 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 it was really nice working with you. And then like, literally I got an onslaught of messages from other fans going like, this guy is not that director, stop talking to her, I don't want to know. And then the dude himself was like, I'm really sorry, man. I'm sorry, I just did a bad thing. I wanted to get something out of you. I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't tell you anything, man. And he was like, yeah, I'm glad you didn't too. Like, so people are not surprisingly
What a
mixed
sweet guy.
feelings. Like, they kind of want to reach in, but they also kind of want to preserve, be protective of their experience of the show. So I don't know if the leak thing is that, if people are that. I actually think it's more of a hype thing, the leak fear, no? Maybe I just don't like
I
burn.
had no idea that happened. That's amazing. That's
You
like
had a little
so
Instagram
funny.
date with an Instagram troll.
Didn't you get that email?
Yeah, and then I went on a date
Oh,
with
I
him,
got
and
the
it was
longest
great.
email ever.
That was
But
because
then they
of
wanted
that.
to
It was
read
because of
it.
him.
Yeah, not because of him, but because of the troll.
Because of the troll. Oh.
I didn't say anything.
It's called
Wait, it got him,
Like,
but the
we
troll
were-
had a conscience, had a crisis of conscience, and it all worked out.
What a sweet Rebecca Thomas imposter that guy.
We all came into school that day and we was all like, did you get the email?
Oh wow, I didn't know that was
You
an
missed
email.
out.
And then everybody was
It was a
like,
big deal, Dan. It was a huge deal.
It was a long.
Didn't involve me.
They were acting like he was like the military. They were like, "There's a mole on set." Like I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"It's not." Like one. Like
I
there's
think
a
there
leak.
was a mole.
There-
Yeah, he did know some stuff. I was like impressed. Yeah, I was
wow,
like, how
okay.
did you know that?
This is so
Be-
Moving on.
because you're preserving this purity. I mean, it does lead itself to kind of some fans like, you know, coming up with their own interesting ideas. What are they doing? What is this about? What is this? What is some of the more interesting fan theories about the show that you've heard?
There are some that are like really far fetched, but then there are also some that are like, oh, like cool, but also like really close. Which is
no, some are
Let's
right.
not say which.
Yes,
yeah, no,
some
I'm
are
not
right.
really like what?
Talk about the crazy
No,
ones.
there's a lot that are like very close, but like, so yes, we're right, but like,
Yeah.
no.
And
No, but people like write like the entire, like their own entire season.
I love it. I
It's
think
awesome.
It's
It's so fun reading.
I wish they kind of like made their own show on what they think the show this season is about.
It's usually
Like,
like
some
13
people
reasons
think that like
why
Will
and
is
Stranger
pregnant
Things
with the
cross.
monster. I heard like this theory where like Will was pregnant with the monster and Will was actually the monster inside, and it was like a really crazy theory. Yeah. Amazing. Is that the words they use?
That's the way,
Yeah, pregnant.
that's the way we put it all there.
Question: how would they give birth to this baby little Demogorgon?
Is this alien or something?
Wait, I have the best fan theory ever, because like there was when we've been shooting since November, right? And so this was amazing when the Super Bowl trailer dropped, and it announces at the end, it announces Halloween, right? So it announces that our show is airing in Halloween, and there was a very convoluted, like 8-page theory on Twitter about how that was all a ruse, and Netflix was going to drop it in March.
I saw
I was like, that's amazing, dude. Like, I wish that was true, but I guarantee we're not even done shooting. But he went through all kinds of numerology and all sorts of images and symbols in the thing, which was like, the opposite of October is March in the calendar. So it will be coming out in
We're not
March.
even that smart.
I
Like,
was
how
like,
did we put
you're
it
awesome.
together?
You can't wait for Stranger Things. You've come up with a fan theory that we're lying to you about when it's going to be released.
Like we're not that smart to put it together. Like
I saw one. It was similar to that, but it was like, it's coming out on Halloween. Someone had said, "Well, on this calendar, Halloween is in July." What are the duffers thinking now?
I also think interviewers, they they kind of like, they state things, and you kind of have to like,
No.
to just say, no, the other day somebody was like, so the show's coming out October 31st. I was like, oh, it is? Oh, I didn't know that. Can you tell me more? And it was like,
Tell me more.
so I was like, show me, where'd you get that? And it was like, they showed the article, and I was like, who's that? And it was like, just Jared. I was like, okay. Okay, now I believe. So is that from Netflix? I'm confused.
Yeah, Hopper seems to be a character that could really come up with some interesting flights of fancy, because that last, yeah. I mean,
No,
what was he was
drunk,
getting?
man.
He was getting into the car there at the end.
Oh,
A lot of people ask about that. The car at the end.
that, aren't we? God, I hope we pay that off.
He obviously knows about 11 because he's leaving the Yegos, you know.
That's true.
And
No, there is, like, I mean, the interesting thing about this season is we get to have a year in between the two seasons, right? So we have a year of things that have happened, and we get to flash back and sort of explore what's happened in that year. But certainly when we start the season, like, Hopper's got a lot to deal with in terms of the stress of, like, only really the kids and, like, not even Mike's parents know about the Upside Down, right? Like,
no, they
They think that.
Ted Mike's parents do.
like Ted doesn't, but even your mom doesn't.
Ted is like
right?
Russians. That's it.
Right. But like nobody knows really about what happened. So sort of, yeah, Hopper's under a lot of stress to like figure out how to deal with this situation. And then as evidenced by the Eggos and the thing, he has some sort of understanding about this 11 reemergence situation, which we'll get into as well. So yeah, he goes through a lot more complicated stuff this year. And it's interesting, I mean, just on a personal note, it's just interesting because the arc was so satisfying in season 1, like to be able to play this guy who was kind of a jerk and like had a shtick and was like good and like, drank and smoked and didn't care at all. And then to be able to see that onion peel back and to see why that didn't care and to actually have him become the hero that we want him to be, and for that to be so emotionally satisfying, it's like, where do you go from there? Like, you've kind of completed this character. And so I was scared going in. I was like, where do we go from here? Because I'm not going to just show up and say, coffee and contemplation, like, sort of do the same thing. And I was really pleased upon reading the first scripts that I do feel like the arcs are very different and as sophisticated as they were last year and as subtle, but they're very different. We take the characters and we really are taking those risks that I have said in interviews might piss some people off, but I do feel like
People like that quote of yours.
well, I know they love that quote. They're always like, Harbor says it'll piss people off. It's like, no, what I mean is that, like, you fall in love with these people and you want them to just do their thing because they're adorable, and you just want Hopper to just say, coffee, you got a pleasure to be heroic. And then what the Duffers have skillfully done is really been like, okay, we love these guys too, but we're not going to let them just be cardboard cutouts. Like, we're going to allow them to actually develop. And in fact, even to the point of like, simple things that in TV, like when you show up on Gilligan's Island, Gilligan always looks like Gilligan in the same shirt, right? Whereas this season, like, Hopper's got a full beard. Hopper, like, facial hair changes, styles change, things like that. Human beings grow and they develop. And I think that we're taking those risks that could piss some people off because they have attachment to these characters. And in a way, I think it's very brave and very satisfying when you see a human being go through that journey.
But can I piggyback on that? Because I think so much gets written about and talked about Stranger Things as far as the 80s reference, and the darkness and the mystery and all of that. But I think kind of the real genius of the brothers is that they haven't lost sight of the fact that at the end of the day, we root for these characters. And all the rest of it is the vehicle, but the heart is these people. And season 2 services that above all else.
Yeah, I was watching, I watched the season again, and that last episode, I mean, the scene that just killed me was that scene between Eleven and Mike, where they're talking about belonging, and he asks her to the dance, and he says, well, you can come live with us, and my mom will make up a bed for you, and she's learning about friendship and the difference between a sister and somebody you take to the snow.
He's like, but I don't like your
Well,
skin.
and then,
Yeah, I mean.
there was a kiss too, yes.
Yeah.
You're anxious to talk about that, okay?
No, well, every interview I know it's coming, so I just wanted to get it over.
I said nothing. I was
Wow.
talking about the
No,
emotional
I know.
piece of-
No. So I just wanted to add on to that because there's also that. What's super cool about that scene is it just
It's cool.
You think it's going up. Oh, he's he really loves her as a sister, and then it just slowly declines into no, she doesn't get it. Mike is totally trying to make a move right now, and then it slowly goes down until it's just
It was just
whatever.
so I think
beautifully
it's such a
awkward.
great scene.
It's a
I think
really
it was a moment for 11 when whoa.
It's perfect
This is-
scene structure.
This is
too.
a
It's,
boy.
Perfect.
Likes me.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Thanks,
yeah.
Dave.
It was a very great scene, and it was very entertaining for the Duffer Brothers, especially to see me kiss someone, which was very disturbing. But they just kept sending me.
Okay, time out.
Go ahead.
It was okay.
Now
First of all, no. It was funny because that day Finn brought in 10 packs of Tic Tacs. Hey, Billy, you want some? He
Good actor.
had a lip balm and
Consider
everything.
it.
And then me and Gaten were kiss. Laughing at us. So don't make it seem that way.
No, well, yeah, I
pushing
mean,
it.
everybody had to be considered. Listen. The Tic Tacs were handy.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it juvenile
Very
over here.
respectful, very adult of you. I'm
Yeah,
proud of
good
you.
job,
Proud of you.
Finn. Good
All
job.
actors. So looking out for them.
All right, so Halloween. Are you guys getting any pushback from costume makers and Halloween supply people? I mean, you're taking Halloween. People are not going out for Halloween this year. They're gonna be watching Stranger
I
Things.
think they can. They can binge on their candy and binge on the
Yeah,
show.
go out early.
Yeah, because that's what I would do. I mean, I would watch. It's so fun to watch something scary when you come home. So I don't think we're ruining Halloween or anything.
No.
We are.
We're making Halloween. Perfect.
Proving Halloween. All right. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
coming
so much.
tonight.
Thank you.
Great.